Hey, what is up? How are you doing? It's Jack here again with another video. Now listen, when I first started looking to buy property and invest in property, I probably did about 150 viewings. And out of those 150 viewings, I got 0 deals. Now thankfully, after 150 viewings and getting 0 deals, I then managed to get myself a mentor, property mentor, who taught me how to find deals and what to actually be looking for when viewing a property. And that's made things a lot easier and a lot simpler, and I've got a lot more results because of it. So what I thought I'd do is make a quick video just with my quick, simple, easy tips and what you need to be aware of when viewing a property. The first tip that I would give you is before going to the actual viewing itself, just make sure that if, for example, you see the property on Rightmove, that you go through the pictures of the house and just make sure that you take a mental note so that you understand how much roughly things are going to cost. So if you're looking at a house and you can see quite clearly that it needs rewiring, or if it needs new windows, or if it needs a complete cosmetic job, new kitchen, new bathroom, whatever it might be, often you can see that from the pictures, and going to view it is more just to confirm what you look at and to see anything that you may have missed or that they may have hidden when taking the photos. But to just get a general idea and understanding of the condition of the property just before you go to the viewing just makes it a bit easier and more helpful, so that you understand going into it what you can expect. For me personally, I'm looking for flip projects or buy, refurb, refinance projects. And so what I'll be looking for is houses that are a little bit dated at a bit of a discount, so that I can do it up and add value to that property and then either sell it or refinance it for a profit. My tips for property viewing start before the viewing itself, okay? So say I'm scrolling through Rightmove and I see a really good property that looks like a really good potential. Well, I'll go through all the different pictures and I'll go through the floor plan and try and gauge roughly how much work needs to get done just based off of the pictures, just to see what condition is it in, is it going to need a lot of work, is it going to need a bit of work, and just try and gauge from the pictures what kind of property I'll be looking at. When I'm going and viewing a property, I look at really 3 main things. I stick to the main things on the viewing, and I'll look at other extra little bits, but I'll mainly make notes or take pictures of those to refer to afterwards. But I'm primarily looking at the boiler condition, the electrics, and also the general condition of the property, like the cosmetic side of it. Now, just as a bit of a disclaimer, okay, I'm no major expert, okay, so when I'm looking around these houses, I'm not looking at it from years and years of experience on refurbing houses or as a builder even. I've got very minimal experience with that, but you get a general feel when you go out and look at different houses, or when you get quotes, or when you start to do a bit of refurbing houses, you get an idea of what you're looking for. But as I say, I'm no expert, so what I'd recommend, because this is what I do, I get a general idea. If I'm fairly confident in it, that's fine. If there's anything I'm unsure of, okay, I just take a picture of it and send it to my builder to have a look over and let me know if it needs to be fixed, updated, ripped out, if it's absolutely fine. So I just recommend that for everybody watching this video. If you're not 100% sure, just take a picture of it, and then when you need to get the work done, just make sure you send that picture off to somebody to get a quote of an idea of what it will cost to fix. Now, when you arrive at the property, I always recommend to arrive 5 minutes before the property, and this is what I do, okay? This was a tip that somebody gave me, and actually it works really, really well, because if you're like me, I don't really go out for one viewing at a time. I will go and view 5, 10 houses in one day, okay? And it's quite easy to get the pictures muddled up with each other, and so you're not sure, was that picture, is that the kitchen from that house, or was it from that house? So one of the tips that they gave me, okay, was when you arrive at the property, take a picture on your phone of the front door, then go around, take all the pictures that you need, and then as you leave, take another picture of the front door. That way it's almost like the pictures on your camera roll will be sandwiched between the front door. So you know all these pictures belong within this house. That's just a little tip. It was really helpful for me. It hopefully will be helpful for you as well. But what I do is I arrive a little bit early, take that picture of the front door, and then what I do is I have a quick look at the roof and any external stuff to do with the property. So I step back, okay, and I basically work from the top all the way down the front of the house. So initially I'm looking at the roof line. Is it in a straight line? Is it a bit jagged? I'm looking at the chimney. Is the flashing okay? Is the chimney in good condition? Then I'm going to be looking around at the roof for any roofing tiles that seem to be missing or broken, or if there's a gap in the roof. I mean, there's really a hole in the entire roof, but if you're looking for odd bits that seem out of place. Then I'm working my way down and I'm looking at the guttering, okay? So I'm making sure that there's no leaks, any blockages, because quite often if you go into a house and there is damp in the top corner of the upstairs bedroom, quite often that's caused by the guttering. You'll notice there'll often be a correlation between the two. So I'm looking at the guttering, making sure that it all looks clean, all looks in good condition, and there's no cracks or it's not broken in any places. Then I just do a quick scan down the front of the house and make sure that there's no gaps in any of the cement, no bricks missing or anything like that, no major cracks. And I'm also looking at the windows and the front door. Do we need to get double glazing in? Do we need to get a UPVC door in, a fully composite door? Because especially if it's a dated house, it may not even have double glazing. It may not have a UPVC door. So you may need to get that and factor that in to your refurb costs. Also, arriving early to a house can be really beneficial because it gives you just a few minutes of scoping out the front of the house and seeing what externally the condition is, but also it gives you a vibe of what the street is like as well. I'll give you an example. I went on a viewing, I was with some friends actually, and we went on a viewing in Stoke. We were looking around for HMO properties, okay? And I thought, you know, this area looks like it'd be a really great area for HMOs. So I go for a viewing, and as I arrive at the house, I notice there's a to let sign outside every single house on that street. So clearly, it may have been a great place for HMOs before everybody else realised that as well, because clearly there were HMOs all the way down that street. And if every single house has a to let sign, that says to me there's too much supply and not enough demand. So that for me straight away was a big no-no. Also, another story, I was in Birmingham. I was in Birmingham and I was viewing a house, and it was going to be a BRR project or a flip project where I was going to buy the house, do it up, and then sell it on. Now I get there and it's a great house. It's absolutely perfect for the kind of thing that I'm looking at doing. I then stayed a little bit afterwards to just get an idea and a feel for what the road was like, and I noticed that on the corner of the street there was a huge pile of rubbish that had definitely been there for a long time. Also, the neighbour came out after a few minutes and started smoking something he shouldn't, and was blasting loud music and was being all like shouting at the other neighbours and getting really aggressive. So whilst that house seemed like the perfect investment, it was great for a flip project, there was profit in it, there's also the things to consider in terms of when you come to refinance it and you try and rent it out. You may struggle to rent it out if the rest of the street is a bit rough. Also, if you wanted to sell it on, you're going to find it hard. For me, I was thinking I'd be able to sell it on to a family, but based on what I saw, it wouldn't have been that great for a family, and we would have struggled to sell it, to be honest. So getting there early isn't just for checking out the front of the house and checking the exterior of the house. It's also to just get a few minutes of a vibe of what the street is like, because you very quickly pick up what the street is actually like, and that can affect your resaleability. It can also affect how quickly you get a tenant in if you wanted to rent the property out. So when I go into the house, I'll be looking straight away at the two things. So I'll be looking at the boiler. I'll be checking if it's a new boiler, if it's an old boiler, if it's been serviced recently, just making sure that it is in good condition, that it's a solid boiler. And I'll also be looking at the electrics as well. What is the consumer unit like? Will it need a new consumer unit? Does it look like actually we may need a full rewire in the whole property? Again, if you're not too sure, just take a picture and send it to your builder or a builder that you know, or even if you've got friends who are in the trade, send it to them and just say, hey, would you know if this is okay? Do you think this would need a full rewire? Is this boiler in good condition? If you're not sure, just take a picture and send it to somebody, just so that you've got peace of mind and you can get an accurate figure for what the costs are going to be. And then also just look for any other major things. So for example, is there any damp, any significant damp? If it's just a little bit, that's fine. But if there's any significant damp, then you may need to get that looked at. Is there any knotweed in the garden or growing through into the house? On knotweed, actually, familiarise yourself with what this looks like. I didn't know what it looked like for ages because I just didn't bother looking it up. I'd heard that knotweed could be very detrimental to a property, but I just didn't bother looking it up. So just look at some images on Google, but just to familiarise yourself with what it looks like, because it can cost a lot of money and be a real faff to fix. So just be aware of that. So damp, knotweed, any structural issues, any major cracks that may need to get fixed, any subsidence in the property where it's sinking on one side. So there's loads of different things that you can look for, but just if there's anything major, just really take note of that. Whilst major issues in a property can be a lot of work, it also could, in a lot of cases, be a bargaining chip to get more of a discount on the property. Now, if you're getting a bit concerned with the idea of major issues with properties, what I found helpful is when I go around a property, if there's anything that I'm not sure on, I take a picture of it and yes, send it to a builder, but there's a book called Structural Defects that if you want to just reference something to understand what it is and how to fix it, this book is really, really helpful. What I'll do is I'll link it in the description below, but it's so helpful. It's just a small book with pictures and illustrations with an explanation of what something could be and what it could be causing. So say for example, if you see a huge crack down a wall, it may be that it's not actually a big deal. It could be that there's a real issue there, and the way that you can identify that, just take a picture of it, go back to your house, reflect on the different pictures and try and pull up a reference point from this book, Structural Defects. It's incredibly helpful, a very good tool if you want to familiarise yourself with work that needs to get done on a property. And then the last thing is just general maintenance and decoration. So is the house in good condition? Do you need to strip wallpaper off? Will it need to get plastered and painted? Do you need to put down carpets and laminate flooring, or are you going to have a new kitchen and a new bathroom? Or it's just cosmetic things really that you can just look around and say, okay, this needs doing, this needs. Again, what's helpful is if you can either take a mental note and remember it, or if you just take a picture of those things and then you can reflect on that. Again, when you get back, you can just write that down and take a note of how much that's going to cost and what actually needs to get done. Again, like I say, I'm not an absolute expert on this, but I've learned little tips and tricks that can help you to avoid mistakes, such as taking the pictures, sending it to a builder, using the Structural Defects book. Really recommend that. So don't feel overwhelmed when you're looking at a project that may need a bit of refurbing or may need a bit of decoration doing. It's a learning process for everybody, but it's very valuable and worth getting to know. And then the last thing that I would recommend that you absolutely do is 100% subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting lots more videos every single week about property flipping, refurbs, buying houses, money management, all kinds of things. I've got loads of different ideas in the pipeline for the upcoming weeks, but I'm going to be posting every single week. So please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. I know that 80% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, which is not okay. If you're one of those 80%, you need to click the subscribe button. Click the bell notification as well so you don't miss a single upload. But I hope this video has been really helpful for you guys. And if it's been helpful, make sure you click the thumbs up as well, just to let me know that it's been helpful as well. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.